Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Okay, let's dive right into this.
It's a really frustrating question, right? Something a lot of us ask ourselves. We put in all this effort, we try to do all the right things, but we still feel like we're just spinning our wheels. But what if the reason has absolutely nothing to do with how smart you are or how hard you work?
What if I told you that the real issue is that you're just solving the wrong problem? That real, actual financial progress only starts when you stop tackling all those other things and correctly identify the real challenge. All right, so let's dig into that. Let's start by looking at how most people, and I mean most people, completely misdiagnose their financial situation. It's incredibly common, and honestly, it's the number one thing holding people back. Yeah, I mean, we've all been there, right? Blaming the person in the White House, or Congress, or inflation, or our boss. But here's the thing, these are all external. When you focus on things you can't directly control, you're essentially giving away all your power to actually find a solution that works. So this leads to a really crucial point, a fundamental shift in how you think. And we can frame this as the difference between how an amateur thinks and how a professional thinks. Check this out. Amateurs cause problems and professionals solve problems. Just let that sink in for a second. It's such a simple but powerful way to look at everything you do. Are your daily habits just causing more mess and more problems, or are they actively solving them? It's a profound distinction. And you can see here, it's like two completely different worlds. On one side, you have the amateurs. They're always looking outside, blaming, which just creates more chaos, right? But then you've got the professionals. They look inward. They actually seek out problems to solve because they know that's where value and ultimately wealth is created. So, how do you actually do this? Well, the first job of a pro isn't about having all the answers. Nope. It's about asking the right questions and getting the diagnosis right. This quote from Charles Kettering just nails it. A problem well stated is a problem half solved. I mean, think about that. Diagnosis is literally half the battle. If you think your problem is just a lack of cash, you're only ever going to look for ways to get more cash. But what if the real problem is a lack of knowledge? No amount of money is ever going to fix that. And this all boils down to something called an internal locus of control. It sounds fancy, but all it means is you believe you are in the driver's seat of your own life. It's the difference between asking, why is this happening to me, and asking, okay, what can I do about this? You go from being a victim to being the creator. Okay, so let's say you've done that. You've identified the real problem from the inside out. Professionals don't just, wing it from there. They have a specific toolkit they use to tackle it systematically. And this isn't about working yourself to the bone. It's about being smart and building a structure for success. First, you diagnose using real numbers, your key performance indicators, or KPIs. A KPI could be as simple as your savings rate. Is it too low? Bam, problem diagnosed. Second, you build a team. And look, this isn't just for CEOs. Your team could be an accountant, a mentor, someone who's already where you want to be. And finally, you implement systems. You create repeatable processes that take the guesswork out of it, like setting up automatic investments. Set it and forget it. But what's the most powerful tool in that whole kit? The absolute ultimate solution. It's education. And I love this analogy from Back to the Future. It's just perfect. Remember Biff's sports almanac? It wasn't the money that made him rich. It was having the knowledge of the future. Your financial education is your sports almanac. It proves that the real problem is rarely a lack of money. It's a lack of knowing what to do with it. Okay, so if the outside world, the economy, your boss, isn't the real problem, then what is? Well, the source material here suggests your wealth is actually determined by 3 challenges, and they're all happening inside of you. And here they are, the 3 pillars. First, your financial knowledge, what you actually know about money. Second, your investor temperament. Can you keep your cool? Can you control that fear and greed when the market gets crazy? And third, your personal discipline. Can you do the right thing over and over and over again, even when it gets boring? These are the real problems. And the good news? You have 100% control over solving them. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but where do you start? Like, what can you do right now? Here's one simple concrete action you can take this week to start making that shift. I want you to actually do this. Grab a piece of paper. On the left side, write down your current numbers for these 6 things: income, expenses, cash flow, assets, liabilities, and net worth. Be honest. Now, on the right side, write down your ideal numbers. What do you want them to be? See that gap? the space between the left column and the right column, that is your real, well-stated problem. Your job now is to figure out how to build a bridge from here to there. And that's really the big takeaway here. Stop fighting the symptoms. Stop wasting your energy on all those external things you can't control. Instead, ask yourself this one simple question. What is the real problem you need to solve first? Once you identify that, you're on your way. You've started the journey from amateur to professional, one solvable problem at a time.